Hello friends, good evening. It's day 26 of our 30 days of wellness and connection together. How are you doing on this Wellness Wednesday? I would love to hear from you. Let me know how life is going for you. So I am pretty tired today. It is the end of the day. But I am not only physically tired, but feeling mentally fatigued. And I want to talk more about that today. So I had planned to continue our conversation on detoxing. I said we can go through the 10 best fruits and vegetables to help you detox. And then I realized that this might be adding to the information overload that many of us are feeling right now. And that is something you can easily look up. And I feel like we can be using our time together in a more beneficial way. So I don't want to add to that. And I do want to talk about this information overload a bit more. And I also feel like just giving you more information on how to take care of yourself is feeding the mind maybe too much. So a lot of people get confused about holistic health. That is what my business is all about. That's what this group is all about that you're in. If you're watching this in my Facebook group. So holistic health means to give equal attention to your body, your breath, which is linked up with your energy, with your heart, which is linked up with your intuition, your logical mind, and with spirit. And most of us tend to favor the mind and the body. And you hear about this a lot. The mind-body connection is so important. That's great that people are acknowledging that, but there's these other aspects of holistic health that are even more important, because that is where the wisdom really comes from. Connecting in with the heart, with spirit, which comes from that connection, and energetically, we need to discern what is happening. And all of those actually inform the mind. And the body is giving us cues all the time. So we may talk about that more in these last 4 days. I really want to use this time to go deeper with you all. But let's talk about this information overload for a moment. So I feel like it happens to some of us more. Some of us who do tend to live in the mind more, because there are definitely certain personality types who do this more. And I am one of those. So I'm a thinker and an analyzer and a planner. I like to think about the future. I get really excited about moving forward and collect in a lot of information along the way to help me. So who else is like that? I'd love to know. And so I feel like we are affected more by this need to consume, to take in, and to really feed the mind. But this happens to all of us, and we're living in an age where it happens from childhood, from school, that we are fed all of this information that we need to take in from these authority figures. There's emotion involved with that, because we need to perform. We need to learn this and perform well in school and then in our jobs. And then there's all the advertising on top of that. And here we are in the middle of all this drama right now. And so we're all feeling it to some degree. And really with me today, there were a few things that happened, and I won't go into the details, but I was disappointed about one relationship that I realized isn't working anymore, a friendship. And then was talking with a business partner about how we need to be doing things differently on Facebook now, because their policy is changing, not surprisingly, and it is majorly going to be affecting natural health businesses. So anyway, I was thinking about both of those things today, and it was really taking away from how I was living my day, connecting with my son and doing all the other things that I had meant to do throughout the day. So So yeah, let's talk about that, how this shows up. So for me, this information overload, I knew I had it because I wasn't able to take in more information. I felt repulsed by any social media. I love watching YouTube videos. I couldn't watch any of those today. I had tried a few times when I was cooking, and I'm like, I really just want to focus on cooking. So my mind could not take in anymore. I was acknowledging that. And I really felt an aversion to more information. So it may be obvious like that, but it may not be obvious. You may just be feeling confused, disconnected from your body, like you're just this floating head. um, you may be taking in information, it's going in through one ear, out the other. You're not able to really process anything. Another way that information overload can show up is having what we call analysis paralysis. And this happens a lot when you have a business, or when you're trying to create something, when you want to create something, and you feel like you need to learn all this stuff before you can do anything. So that's how information overload can show up too, to the point where you are just stuck and you can't move any further, even though it's not just the information overload. Usually there's fear behind that too, which is also linked up with perfectionism. Who's like that? I am like that a little bit too. And yeah, and then you could be just confused about things. This shows up for me when I think about how to eat well. We've been talking about that the last few days. So getting confused with too many perspectives on what is the right diet. Maybe you're feeling this confusion with all the information around COVID, since there's so many conflicting ways that it's being modeled for us. And there's so much going on right now. So confusion is definitely another major sign. So there's probably more than this, but again, my mind is a little mushy, and I think these are the main things. I'm not going to process any further. But let me know if you have any other ways that you discover you have information overload, in case people are not as in touch and want to know that. So let's talk about how you get over this. There's really two paths you can take. And the first is what I'm doing, that you need to pause. You need to pause. And actually, with both paths, you need to stop consuming, because consuming information can be like consuming too much food. You're not using it as fuel, and you need to be doing something with the information, with the fuel that you are getting. So pausing is a very good idea. Go inward. Take time to really reconnect with your body, to reconnect with your heart, with spirit, with any mindfulness practices. So you are using the mind, but to relate to the other aspects of the self. So get quiet. And this is the time of year where this feels more natural. So you can take a step back from things if possible. Take a step back, take a breather, and then things will become more clear. You'll know when you need more information again. So the second path, it could be right after this pause, or maybe you're ready for it right away, is to take action, to use this information as fuel. Do something with it. So like with the business aspect, you know when you have enough training, you get in that analysis paralysis, or you act. If you're in the analysis paralysis, you need to act. You need to do something with it. Get over the perfectionism ideal. because there's never the perfect time or situation, especially if something is new. And that's when people have a lot of fear, I think, when something is brand new and they feel like they need more information to train themselves. So just do it. You learn a lot along the way. So treat it as a learning process that you can be curious about. Make it fun. But if it's something else, like all this information that's coming to us from authority figures, from politicians, you may have opinions about all of this. We already talked about expressing yourself. So not keeping all the information in your head, but really get it out there and talk to people about it. So this is a way that you can process it too. Let it out. And then, of course, you can be doing a mind dump. We haven't talked about this yet, I don't think, where you journal and you just write out everything that's on your mind. It doesn't need to be coherent at all, just words all over the paper. There is emotion involved with this too, so it is a way to relate to yourself as well when you mind dump. And then again, once you let it out, once you take this action, I would pause again before immediately habitually consuming again. So this is a lot to, I don't want to say think about, but just maybe see if this may be happening with you and if you need to do something about it. Pausing or taking action, because it will impact your life and it can impact it in a negative way. So we always want to stay ahead when possible of any stress that is coming up in your body that is going to build from this information overload. So let me know if this helped you, friends. And we just have 4 more days left. I am so happy for those of you who have been watching these videos. Thank you so much. And I will try to bring it home strong these next 4 days. Let me know if there's anything else you want to hear about or talk about. I will see you again tomorrow. Take care.